A very quick update on my vise and mounting post. So this was the base plate that I mounted it on, just to try it out where it is, to see whether I was happy with it being where I had it. And it hasn't got in the road at all, but I was still nervous. And I was always familiar with dynabolts, and I've always used dynabolts to hold things down on the floor. And the problem is that if you put this in here and I then decide later on it's not quite where I want it, then you end up having to cut the ends off these things, but they're just sticking up out of the ground. So I just didn't want to be permanently welded to having that mounted here. I went on YouTube, on YouTube, and I'm sure these have been around forever, but I'd never used them. These are drop-in fittings, so you get this one gives you an M10 thread, and you just do the standard thing with your masonry, drill into the concrete, and you drop these in, and then you put a pin down the center and hammer it, and that spreads the bottom out, and then you have a flush mounted, or near enough to flush mounted, thread in the floor. It's kind of like the riv nut for concrete. So I just drilled in here, and I'm using M10 bolts, and this frees up my big lump of aluminium. I've been dipping into the offcut that I had off this end here. You can see where I cut that off. For, among other things, my mounting plate for my DSLR, for the side-by-side mount for my astronomy. But I just thought, this means that I can unbolt this. If it's in the road, I can just unbolt it, and there's nothing poking out of the ground to trip me. And now this is absolutely, completely bolted down. And I have a job that I want to do soon. It's a late birthday present for my sister, whose birthday's already been. She wants a bit of an artistic seat, and I'm going to make it out of scrap that I've got, scrap material I have. And I'm going to be doing a lot of bending of sort of 16mm rod and so forth. So I really wanted a solid mount for this, and that gives me that solid mount, and I get my piece of scrap metal back to keep diving into. So that's just a very quick update, and sorry Dad, I haven't painted it yet. Maybe one day, who knows. I might put some rust converter onto it, and then maybe I might go crazy one day and put some paint on it. We shall see. We don't need to rush these things, do we?